back. Move back.
If you do not do so, we may dispense chemical agents and you will be arrested.
We're peaceful right
Kentucky
now.
is under a state of emergency awaiting a major announcement in the Breonna Taylor case. She was shot and killed by police in her home in March. Kentucky's attorney general is expected to announce whether criminal charges will be brought against 3 officers. CBS's Jerika Duncan is in a very tense Louisville tonight. Jerika?
Good evening. We're here in downtown Louisville. You can see the barricades, the fencing, and even the boarded up city buildings. Nora, this was not the case last week. With each passing day, the mood is no doubt changing. The city has basically been shut down with government buildings and businesses either closed or boarded up. Police say they want to make this area as safe as possible. All of this comes as we wait to see whether the 3 officers being investigated by the Kentucky Attorney General's office will face charges in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. The fatal shooting, as you may recall, happened on March 13th. Police raided Taylor's apartment. She was shot multiple times. These crime scene photos show parts of her apartment complex that were just riddled with bullets. Late today, Breonna Taylor's mother posted a very short statement saying, "Dear Breonna, justice is coming." The Kentucky Attorney General here, Daniel Cameron, is expected to first speak with Breonna Taylor's mother before making any public announcement. Nora?
Jerika Duncan, thank you.
Louisville, Kentucky, where for the first time we are hearing from one of the officers involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor. In an email, the officer writes about that night and his thoughts on the protests that followed. This as the city is under a state of emergency ahead of a decision on whether some of those officers will be charged. Alex Perez is in Louisville with the latest.
Overnight, protesters in downtown Louisville marching past barricades and boarded up businesses. The mayor declaring a state of emergency as the city braces for a decision on possible criminal charges against the officers involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor.
My hope is that we will continue to see peaceful, lawful protests.
One of the officers involved for the first time speaking out, Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly, who was shot in the leg during the botched raid at Taylor's home in March, sending an email to over 1,000 LMPD personnel early Tuesday morning. In the email obtained by ABC affiliate WHAS, Mattingly telling his fellow officers, "You do not deserve to be in this position, the position that allows thugs to get in your face and yell, curse, and degrade you, throw bricks, bottles, and urine on you and expect you to do nothing." Mattingly also writing, "I know we did the legal, moral, and ethical thing that night. It's sad how the good guys are demonized and criminals are canonized." His attorney defending the email, saying he was expressing his support for his police colleagues. Activist Tamika Mallory, who has led a massive social media campaign for charges against the officers, also on the ground here preparing for a decision.
If you don't have a situation where there are charges brought against those cops, then you don't start the process, the real process towards justice for Breonna Taylor.
And Alex Perez joins me now from Louisville. Alex, good morning. There are already some protests there we're hearing. What's the tone like?
Yeah, Diane, I want you to take a look behind me here. First of all, you can see all of these boarded up buildings here. This is what a lot of the businesses look like. There are barricades to some areas you have to get there by foot. That's the only way in. No vehicle traffic is allowed. And yes, there are some protests. There, in fact, have been a protest here in Louisville since March, back when Breonna Taylor was killed. The majority of those protests have been peaceful, and that's what we have seen the last couple of days here. Dozens of people gathering, probably more than 100 of them last night. But the protests have been peaceful. The marches have been peaceful, and authorities are hoping that is going to continue when we learn of a decision. But of course, they're preparing for anything. Diane?
And Alex, any sense of when those potential charges or the decision not to charge will be announced?
Yeah, that is the big question right now, Diana. And we have talked to Breonna's family. We have talked to city officials, and everyone seems to tell us the exact same thing, that they do not know when exactly that decision is going to come down. The Attorney General is going to announce that decision once the grand jury reaches a decision, but the grand jury is operating on its own timetable. They are entitled to digest evidence, to talk about what they are hearing. So they're going to say they are ready when they are, and we just don't know when that's going to be just yet, Diane.
Well, we will continue to wait as patiently as possible. Alex Perez in Louisville for us. Thanks, Alex.